He's holding me by my throat. I can't breathe. I try to guide my hands to my throat to get his off, but I'm too weak. My vision is too blurred and spotted. I can't see who my attacker is. He's shouting at me, but I can only make out the words as he's strangling me. It's your fault. You're the one to blame. If it weren't for you, they wouldn't be dead. I looked up at them with what little energy I had left. He was smiling at me sadistically, and I looked into his eyes. They were filled with hatred, remorse, and anger. He leaned down by my ear and whispered in a surprisingly gentle tone, "Time to wake up." I woke with a start, covered in a sheen of cold sweat, panting heavily. I sat up too fast, making my head hurt. I looked around, bewildered to find a female looking at him in curiosity and excitement. She had chestnut brown hair and big glasses with a goofy grin and eyes full of excitement and curiosity. "Hiya, my name's Hanji," the girl said, getting in my face with a grin that looked like it hurt. Didn't look like it bothered her, though. Hi," I stuttered nervously, looking away with pink dusting my cheeks due to the close proximity between us. She giggled and poked my cheeks. "Aw, you're blushing," she sang. "Oh, I almost forgot," she said, making me curious. I looked at her in confusion, but I got even more confused when she got up and ran out of the room. I stared at the door for a minute, then settled back down into the bed I was in. I closed my eyes, resting my head on the pillow. Where am I? Oh, that's right. I'm in one of Walsena's hospitals. My 3D maneuver gear broke after one of the stupid man-eating titans broke the cable. I remember falling, but not hitting the ground. How did I not get eaten? I guess I'll just ask Hanji when she gets back. A few minutes later, I heard the door open. I sat up again. In walked not just Hanji, but a man. He looked rather short, but his expression scared me a little. He had an emotionless face with piercing eyes. I stiffened when his gaze landed on me. Hanji still had on her goofy grin when I saw her last. I gulped as he walked over to my bedside. Hanji followed him in too. To avoid his stare, I looked at the sheets that I found suddenly interesting. After about a minute of feeling his eyes burn into the side of my head, he spoke. "How are you feeling?" "Fine," I lied. Just noticing the pain in my right side and shoulder, I still avoided looking at him directly. "Hey, brat. Look at me when I talk to you, especially since I saved your butt in Maria." My eyes widened and I looked in his direction in confusion. "I don't remember you saving me." "That's 'cause you passed out mid-fall due to shock. But because of the 3 other aberrant titans coming your way, I had to throw you through one of the abandoned building's windows. You had a decent-sized shard of glass stuck in your thigh and a dislocated shoulder from impact. You've been out for 3 days, he replied in a bored tone. I looked back over to Hanji with a quizzical look on my face. She nodded her head, smiling. "If I only had a dislocated shoulder and a shard of glass in me, why didn't I wake up sooner?" I asked, still not fully believing him. As if reading my thoughts, he replied, "Hanji, being the crappy scientist she is, she read the directions wrong because of her stupid dirty glasses. Gave you too much of the sedative. We had to sedate you to get the glass out of you. It was rather deep, but didn't do any damage to anything. We just didn't want you waking up and flailing all around and screaming." I noticed a hint of irritation and annoyance in his voice. "Oh," is all I said, believing him. I freaked out at the sight of blood, but I wouldn't pass out. Being frightened of seeing blood is an odd thing when you work for the Scouting Legion. I had to cope with it, somehow. "You should be able to get out of here and back to camp within a week. Hanji said she wants to make sure the glass wound will heal properly and treat it so it wouldn't get infected." He paused for a moment. "Oi, brat, didn't I tell you to look at me when I'm talking to you?" "Thank you," I said, looking back up at him. When I looked back up at him, though, he looked surprised and smirked, not realizing yet I was watching him. When he saw that I was, he returned to the blank expression and glared at me. Hanji saw what had happened. just smirked and gave me a thumbs up from behind the man beside my desk. I also realized that I still don't know his name. What's your name? I asked him. Lance Corporal Levi Riviali, making me your superior. I was a bit taken aback by the last comment, but I shut up and just nodded. Good. I will take my leave now, Corporal Levi said firmly. With that, he left the room, leaving me with Hanji. She grinned at me with a look of curiosity in her eye. By the way, I couldn't find your dog tags on you. What's your name? Also, I need your rank. My name is Maddox Nathan Hathaway. My rank is cadet, I said, trying to salute, but as soon as I tried to move my right arm, pain shot up my arm, making me cry out in pain. Hanji laughed at me, trying to be formal. Maybe I should get you a thing so you won't try to use that arm. Making me laugh despite my obvious pain dulling in my right shoulder. Yeah, maybe, I responded. Thank you, that was my first fanfic reading. It wasn't perfect. Hopefully my fluency will, get a lot better, but there you go. A nameless fanfic of Shingeki no Kyojin, or Attack on Titan, by one of my friends from school, and I hope you enjoyed, and like I said, hopefully I'll get better. And, read the story before I read it to myself, before I read it aloud, but yeah, thanks. And rate, comment, subscribe, because I love whoring myself.